brings out some of the bad blood over the decades.
Arizona has kept Arizona State out of Rose Bowls in the past. The Wildcats are 4-7. The Sun Devils are one of the great reclamation projects in all of college football after 3 wins last year. Downstairs, Allison Williams, hello.
JB, few have more firsthand knowledge of this rivalry than ASU head coach Kenny Dillingham. He grew up in the Phoenix area, tailgating before Sun Devils games with his family, cheered from the stands as a student, even married a member of the ASU dance team. He knows what this game means to the people of Arizona, but more importantly, what it means for his team and getting to the Big 12 title game, and that's exactly what Noah Fifita told me they want to disrupt. He said, we want to ruin their dream season, which is the dream of every rival.
I mean, that is just motivation through the roof for an Arizona team that has struggled this year. Here is Cam Skattebo, who is #1 in all-purpose yards in the Big 12. The handoff coming from Sam Levitt, a transfer from Michigan State by way of the state of Oregon. His confidence is through the roof as well.
Yeah, and his play in the month of November for these undefeated Sun Devils has just been tremendous. His efficiency that you could see there, the touchdowns, he protected the ball so well, and his athleticism, a very underrated attribute of his.
He's got 2nd down and 7 here. They get it out quickly. It's Jordan Tyson, his favorite target by a mile this year, behind an offensive line led by the center that transferred from UNLV, Fatanu.
Yeah, 51 starts. He's the anchor right in the middle. Ihanachor, the right tackle, has really come along as well. Man, he can move with all the screens and counters and RPOs they like to do. But don't kid yourself. The straw that stirs the drink is Cam Skattebo, one of the best in the country. There are running backs that elevate offenses, and then there are running backs that elevate the whole program, the whole team, by their confidence, by their physicality. He's one of those guys, and they're rare.
He's broken nearly 90 tackles this year. He might have to here on 3rd down and 1. Early pivotal play for Arizona State. They'll feed him, and Skattebo launches his body to the 1st down marker into Trey Smith. And this defense for Arizona and Dwayne Aquina that has had so many injuries this year.
Yeah, undermanned, undersized. They've lost 3 of their defensive captains. Those 4 guys up front, really active. They do not just sit still. They will slant, they will stunt. We'll also see my eye back, the big boy, 92 in the middle. Dalton Johnson's a safety that's playing in the box consistently. You see him right there, 43, 15 tackles a week ago. They're living in that dime because of all the injuries on the back end. But Davis, by far their best coverage guy at 6'4".
And to your point, 6 members of the secondary, most plays here for Arizona. Play action, loads of time for Levitt. He'll roll to the right casually and throw it to Tyson once again, who has made such changes to his persona and his skill set.
Yeah, and this is a nice job up front. You're just going to have to give Levitt some air like this, a little play action. You see just 3 rushers from Arizona. And Jason, that's what I'm talking about, extending the plays. He can really run. Catching up with his OC, Marcus Arroyo, on the field before the game, and he said Levitt and that connection he's built with Tyson special, but Levitt can go 38-inch vertical. I mean, a really dynamic athlete that you've just watched his confidence, like this team, grow in the most critical month of the season.
They like quarterbacks with verticals here, thinking of Ortiz Jenkins back in the day. Skattebo, oh, his balance on display very quickly. He ends up with 9 there. Look at his hand in the ground.
You like that hand plant. We saw Devin Neal do this a week ago in a pretty big moment there at Arrowhead Stadium for Kansas. Just that balance, not even hit that time. He loses his feet, doesn't matter. You can see just how low to the ground, and then he seeks out contact. I mean, he just thrives off of it.
Kenny Dillingham, in one word, described him as rogue. Said he doesn't care about what people think about him, but man, does he play hard. Here he is again. He's worked on his speed, and another nasty stiff arm. Tacario Davis face to face with him, and after everything we saw at Michigan, Ohio State, here we go again.
Yeah, and just watch my guy, Mad Max over here, Ihanachor. He just seals that edge. A nice job by Tyson coming in there. You talked about the maturity of Tyson. Those 2 paved the way, and then, yeah, I mean, it's just every single time you watch him and they go face to face there with the 6'4" corner, he is lower than everybody that tackles him.
Why does that matter so much?
Because it's all leverage, and then the power, the strength that he has on top of that, you can't go lower than he will.
Kyson Brown is in, the sophomore tailback. It's Levitt on play action. That pocket is very clean. He's got a completion down the sideline to Stovall, and his hurdle got met in the air, a la Inception, 1st and goal.
Now, this is just precision. I mean, this is really well done on the outside. You see the protection, as you said, sets the table for all that space for him. And then a beautiful concept with 2 post routes that run everybody off, the corner route that comes behind it. I mean, this is scripted for success here right out the gate for the Sun Devils.
If Arizona takes the first punch, what will the response be for a team that's 4-7 so far this year? Brown remains in, and he keeps his feet off the spin, and he'll go down with Owen Goss eventually. Miloto got there first. The red zone has been the one place Arizona State has declined from last season.
Which is surprising, especially with the Scadaboo, who's going to make his way back on the field. Kenny Dillingham's done it at a high level as an OC. Just in 2 years, turning it around at Arizona State. And he would tell you, yeah, man, being able to run, QB run, usually those leads to touchdown success have been a work in progress here this season.
They kicked the tires on this last year when they had so many injuries. Scadaboo out of the Wildcat, and he will get it directly and walk in for a touchdown. Wow. That's a bullseye.
Yeah, this is about as good as it gets, man. This is just a block down, block down, block down. And watch the big fella come out front. That's Kyle Scott, the right guard. And that's about as easy as it gets. A guy that lets contact, that has tremendous contact balance. He got to just have a gimme right there. Number 15 on the ground for number 4. Probably not the last one this afternoon either.
It's so easy for him sometimes, this offensive line, but Scadaboo's so calm with the ball. Kenny Dillingham said it looks like there's chaos all around him, but he is the center of this team. We'll take a break with our game flow. It's sponsored by Progressive. 7-0 Arizona State. Fox College Football sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Arizona has won back-to-back territorial cups, 59 points last year with that offense that was just cooking for the Wildcats. 98th meeting dating back to 1899, and they have had some crazy ones. 81, 10 combined turnovers in rain. It rains here. Did you know that?
No.
Arizona State, though, at points has come in here with huge aspirations. 96 they did. They end up going to the Rose Bowl with a blowout win. They're hoping it's like that today and not like some of the other ones when Arizona stood in their way.
5 times since the turn of the century, Arizona's been under 500. They've been the underdog, and they have been the winner in this rivalry.
The one guy last year that burned the Sun Devils over and over was Tetairoa McMillan, one of the best receivers in the country, steps out of the field when we come back. Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. A lot of transfers in college football, so some players don't know the depth of a rivalry or even last year's game, but Brian Ward, the defensive coordinator for Arizona State, is very familiar with these numbers.
Yeah, and just putting this tape on last year, it is amazing how these two programs have basically flipped. The confidence that Noah and T-Mac played with in that game, the ease with which they played, kind of looked like that ASU opening drive right there, but they did it over 4 quarters.
We will see which Noah Fifita and which offense we watch today here in Tucson. It's a short set. They'll get it out quickly, and there is T-Mac with his first catch. Here we go again. He takes a swat. It is first down. Jordan Crook got a whack in the kisser.
Yeah, it is pretty simple, right? Just a little slant route. I love it. Get an empty, kind of spread the numbers out so you could create a one-on-one. Huge mismatch there with Javen Robinson at just 5'11", and well, Noah Fifita is pretty crafty. Fifita just finding that angle. Look at that, 3 different Sun Devils to get it to his difference maker.
He flew too close to the Sun Devils, you could say. It's a toss. Get the ball to McMillan. He's going to launch down the field. Incomplete for Hunter, and a marker comes in. The coverage for Javen Robinson, and Arizona's got a bounce in its step.
Jason, he just threw that ball nearly 60 yards.
Yeah, he did. You remember what Fifita told us about those two?
Yeah.
We were here in October, and Fifita said, when we play Madden, T-Mac's a quarterback, I'm the wide receiver.
Yep. That time he got to show off, yeah, just a little too much hand grabbing right there. He had a chance, did Hunter, to go get that thing. And Robinson just does not let go. That ball was almost 60 yards on the dot.
You ever seen a receiver throw like that?
No, they all think they can.
Okay. On first down, Quali Conley on his senior celebration. That's Clayton Smith, the defensive end, with the stop. The offensive line has been shape-shifting for Arizona, but they do have their left tackle.
Yeah, 6 different offensive lines this year. It was a question of whether or not Savaiinaea, who's the difference maker, would be able to go today. He's played the right side, he's played the left side. They have had so much different movement. It looks like actually Wooten is in right now at left tackle, so that would be starting lineup number 7 for these Arizona Wildcats. And Conley, he's got to balance out T-Mac on the outside. That's some semblance of a run game that's been hard to find.
We do expect Savaiinaea to be available. Here's a throw down the middle. That's tipped, and it's incomplete. That's a fired up Cyrus Fiaseu. Third down. How about Kangaika in the middle, a former Arizona Wildcat?
Yeah, how about when asked Brian Ward yesterday in the ASU guys, like who's the guy? Who's been a difference for you? And they all pointed to the former Arizona Wildcat. 2 linebackers in the middle. They'll rotate with Fiaseu, who you just saw as well. And then a lot of experience on the back end. And Simmons is a monster.
3rd and 9. Fifita held it for a while, and he throws under duress. McMillan, the intended target. That was Clayton Smith coming around the corner, and it's 4th down for Arizona. Would you think about it here? Probably not, right?
You know what I think about? A field goal. And I'm not even joking. Because
people at home are like, Brock, come on.
I watched Tyler Luke kick it from 70 in warm-ups. It looks like they're not going to give him a chance. He was making 65 consistently. Everybody was watching him in warm-ups. But they're going to go for the punt. And that's not an exaggeration. With my own eyes on the field, 70-yard field goal by Tyler Loop.
We were here back in October,
yeah.
And he hit one from just about that same spot as well. It's fairly routine for him as Stovall's back to receive this kick from Salgado Medina. And he's going to run up to catch it and return this thing across the 25.
Some juice in these Sun Devils, huh?
Would you say they're sparky right now? You might. Cam Skattebo, one of the best in the country. And this offense right back on the field. Let's take a look at our Get More game plan. It's sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico.
Well, I think for ASU, just havoc at the line of scrimmage. They will throw a lot of bodies at Fifita, a lot of different looks, but on the offensive line as well. Just create some chaos so that little rogue Skattebo can do his thing. And for Arizona, you got to win the turnover battle. I mean, we say that every single week. I know that's easy to say, but really in this matchup, it's been such a strength of the Sun Devils this year. And as undermanned as Arizona is, if they don't take the ball away and make big plays, it's going to be really hard to go toe-to-toe with this red-hot ASU team.
They're plus 10 in turnover margin. Arizona State is this year. And this is Kyson Brown on the run. Arizona's defense led by Dwayne Aquina. Allison?
Yeah, JB, and he was telling his secondary the coverages have been correct. They're getting what they want. The coverage is right, but they have to stay in it when Arizona State starts to scramble. He told them, we know what they're going to run. We've done the research. Now it's about execution. He said, I don't want to see your mouths doing any talking out there. Your execution has to do the talking right now.
Yeah, Allison, that's easier said than done because Sam Levitt will extend the play. You've got to play your normal coverage, and then you got to plaster when he moves. Not easy to do.
He'll play fake here. He wanted the screen. Now he'll throw it into the ground, but that's the level of confidence and comfort you have in this offense if you're Levitt. He knows there's nothing there.
Right.
We've seen so many quarterbacks in this league and beyond try to make something out of that type of play.
Yeah, and it's why he's got just 5 interceptions all year and been red hot here down the stretch. 9-1 as a starter, 18 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, and oh, by the way, has also run for 356 yards and 4 tuds.
Huge crowd here in Tucson. Watch the matchup down at the bottom. It's Tacario Davis and Jordan Tyson, the two best at their position in this game for these teams, and there he is. That is Tyson across the middle. He's got a huge gain. Down the sideline he goes. Tyson is inside the 10. It took Latrell, the freshman, to trip him up.
Wow. He's got some juice, and this is the whole key right here. Mateer just gets in the way. You focused on that little matchup, that little bump, right? You make the 6'4" long corner, make those feet stop, and the little quick guy Tyson gets right through him. And look at the extra effort by everybody down the field. This ASU team is brimming with confidence.
Kenny Dillingham said about this team, Tyson included, they dance on the line between confidence and cockiness. And we've seen that week after week, including Scadaboo, who invites contact and goes cartwheeling inside the 5.
Averages 5.5 yards a carry. Almost 4 of those yards are after contact. 3.7 yards every carry after contact. And you see it right there. The average running back goes down. That's a 1-yard gain, not him. He runs through contact with that balance. He hand plants yet again, and he gains 3, 4, 5 yards just about every time he touches it.
Evidently, you can hear him run, according to the offensive coordinator, Marcus Arroyo. That's the sound his offensive coordinator made. You can hear Scadaboo running, evidently. In practice, in games, timeout called. Arizona State, they were going to run that Sparky formation. This is the one game you can't call it the Wildcat formation. Timeout, second and goal when we come back. Fox College football sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Direct snap twice to Scadaboo, 2 touchdowns, and here is what happens when you let an analyst make a headline of a graphic.
I had so much fun watching his tape this week. And we didn't see Arizona State last year. This is the first time we're seeing them this year. They're here because of that production. You can see everything is up from a year ago. Throw on a couple more touchdowns already here in the first quarter. But he does. He has elevated, call him Captain Confidence. Because, as you said, this is a confident crew. This is a cocky crew. He's all of it. But he just elevates everybody in the program.
And they're a win and a little help away from getting to the Big 12 title game. Arizona State needs a win plus either one of 3, a win by TCU later, a win by Kansas State later, or a win by BYU later. There were 5 possibilities, but the Kansas-Baylor result, the West Virginia-Texas Tech result, all of that, Kenny Dillingham said, just win the game. There's a lot going on here. If you win the game, you're very, very likely going to be in. Not guaranteed, but man, what a story this has become in the Desert Southwest. Now, is there a counterpunch for Arizona? 2 Sun Devil touchdowns. It's an option, and it's Conley driving forward into Jordan Crook, who's had a rough and tumble first 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, I like the way Arizona State plays, and Brian Ward, their defensive coordinator, we've seen him in a lot of different stops along the way. He has these guys playing so fast. They play 3 different safeties. They play 3 or 4 different linebackers. They just throw bodies at you. Whatever you see pre-snap, you will not see post-snap. They will move, they will slant, they will stunt, and these guys fly typically downhill.
They're not overwhelming numbers, top 45 in total yards, 51st in points per game, but as a group and as a ball-hawking defense, they've been outstanding. This will be over the middle on the check down for Conley. It's Crook on the stop, and a gain of 2, 3rd and long, and this is where Ward really excels.
Yep, it's that. It's do the work, earn the right to get to 3rd down, so then now more different personnel can come on the field, right? But that was just indicative of what they have done as well this month of November. Ball is in front of you, keep it in front of you, and then just rally and go collision and, well, run yourself off the field right now as well, Mr. Crook.
Crook went sprinting to the sideline. 3rd and 7, Fifita. He'll step into it. It's high, but it's caught. It's McMillan on a first down in front of Robinson. He is such a tough guard with that height and that volleyball background.
He is, and you see the tighter split. You're going to see an out route here by Fifita, but enough room for him to do that, not retreat. When Fifita is able to plant and step up, or plant and just stay where he is, he's got a good shot to just spray the ball. It's when he's gotten in the retreat mode, this whole offense has had problems.
That's the year-to-year difference in the tape, right?
Huge. Last year, he sat in that pocket comfortably. He stepped up in that pocket, threw for well over 500 in the game.
He'll set and a run there. Oof. It is a direct snap. Fifita out for the moment, and Anthony Garcia with the run here. So Fifita will come back on Garcia with the run.
And he's saying, appreciate that shot to my upper back between my scapula. That felt good.
He's another one of those guys who's transferred from San Jose State, along with Brent Brennan, the head coach, in year number 1 for Arizona. Risano once again, the tailback, and he's got the carry in for Conley, the sophomore out of the state of Texas, and there's another 3rd and long coming up.
A nice interior stunt there. Again, that's just a great picture of those 2 tackles that line up in one spot, and then they just run a little stunt. They change the target. So your ability to identify pre-snap, and then you've got to identify post-snap, and then as the years gone on, they have all just played faster and faster and faster.
Question is, can Robinson defend McMillan at the top of the formation here? Standing at the 40 at the numbers, they'll go the other direction. That's Hunter with the catch, and he's not going to go anywhere. Abney caught him up in the wash, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, this Abney is an undersized little corner right here, but he's got eyes to it. He sees what's coming at him and creates just enough kind of friction and chaos fighting through that block. You see the pursuit there of McCullough. He's one of those 3 or 4 linebackers that gets into the mix. In this day and age of college football, Jason, you've got to carve out roles for not just your starters, 2 deep. You know, you got to play 25 guys. You've got to activate them so they can play a role in your team to keep them around. And a nice job of that as well defensively.
Especially if this season is going to go as long as Kenny Dillingham wants into the college football playoff, into January. A lengthier season nowadays. Stovall watches this bounce into the end zone, and a touchback. We'll take a look at big deals sponsored by Walmart. Black Friday deals. Shop deals now. What do you think of the first 2 drives for Arizona State, Mr. Analyst?
I think that's pretty efficient stuff.
Okay.
I think your stars have gotten involved. We've seen Tyson with the explosive play. We've seen Levitt push the ball down the field to Stovall. We've certainly seen Scatteraboo hand plant his way to a couple touchdowns.
Look at the swagger from Levitt.
Yeah, they do. I mean, we felt it this week in talking to these guys. Like, man. And I'm really glad Kenny said that last night. Like, we walk that line between cocky and confident. And they walk it as strongly as anybody we have seen this season.
They walk it, they talk it. It's the whole package right now for Arizona State. Scatteraboo, what patience. He squeezes through, he slides by. Scatteraboo is free once again, and he wants to get into a body, and it's Genesis Smith, gain of 34.
So when you play a group like Arizona that you just don't always know where they're going to be, well, guess what you're going to do? You're going to run that gap scheme. Right? You're going to block down so you have body on a body, and then you let Scatteraboo pick-a-boo. And he will pick his spots. And then this is the difference, Jason. You know, Kenny Dillingham is blunt with his guys. Hey, listen, you want to play in the league, Scatteraboo? Lose some weight, lose 6-7% body fat, and get faster. And that is what he has done over the course of the offseason as well.
Dillingham said to him, you want to be like a nice toy, this is sort of a cute thing, or do you want to go play in the NFL? And he's taking it to heart. Levitt doubles out of pressure, and now he'll go down. Lance Kennelly was there. Tay Brown finished the deal.
You had to have that one if you're Arizona. And just kind of a little miss in protection here as you're going to see a hand get on to Kennelly, but that is not enough slide protection there, but just the hand upon him will give him a chance to finally make a play for Arizona in this first quarter.
It's his first sack after coming over from Stanford, and now 2nd and 18 for the Sun Devils on what could be the final play of quarter number 1. Why not go on the ground? It's Brown this time, dipping his shoulder into Takario Davis. couldn't have gone any better for Arizona State in hopes to get to the Big 12 title game in their first year in this league. What a turnaround. Nearly complete in this regular season. Territorial Cup on the line.
Coach Dillingham, such a good start for your offense. What's been the key to the execution we've seen to start this game?
Yeah, everybody's playing really hard. O-line's blocking well. Guys are running hard. Guys are running to spring explosive plays on blocks and on quick passing games. So we just got to continue to play with a passion.
Saw you talking to Scadaboo a little bit there. What's been the biggest message?
Stay in our game, play our game, stay calm, stay composed, including myself, and let's go play one play at a time.
Thanks, Kenny.
Thank you.
Kenny Dillingham is so fiery in practice, but even trying to stay composed or poised, he becomes composed. They have come so much out of nowhere. They've created their own narrative, and it's 3rd and 11 for him right here. What a turnaround he has led for this team. It's an end around, and they're going to get the first down. It's Kyson Brown. Oh my goodness gracious. Just dragging Wildcats for 28.
Yeah, and dragged them for the final 15 yards. They love this, right? 2 backs. Kyson is the backup to Scadaboo. Scadaboo's out in front blocking. Look at this. Watch, that's Takari. That's 5. That's 10. And it's going to be 5 more before he hits the ground. That's 15 yards. You know what that is a picture of? Exactly what Kenny Dillingham just said. We're playing hard.
That's right.
And we're playing harder than our opponent with everything on the line.
You saw the intensity from Kenny Dillingham at the end of that game with all of the shenanigans against BYU and just how fiery he was. This is a run once again. Here goes Scadaboo, and somehow he was down. He was very close to staying up on that run, wasn't he?
Yes, really, really close. And I just had, again, so much fun watching this guy. Look at the legs and the power. Yeah, I think that knee
I don't
just...
know. I don't think he was down, Brock. You think he was down? You think it scraped the turf?
I think it was awfully close, but I think his cuts before and as he gets that ball in his hand are so doggone unique.
1 scholarship offer out of high school. Sacramento State. Tyson. Here he goes. Another Sun Devil touchdown. This is a machine.
I mean, this is a very similar concept to what Arizona ran on their 3rd down, but look at the difference. Look at Guillory's block here. He displaces Arizona Wildcats, and then that offensive line can come out, and Tyson can explode into that end zone for now the 10th touchdown of his fabulous season as well.
Hearing the offensive coordinator, Marcus Arroyo, talk about Tyson, one of his favorite developmental stories on this team. He transfers here from Colorado, didn't get a ton of playing time, wasn't exactly the most put together, just in the very fine details. But you mentioned his name. Hines Ward, receiver coach for this team, has transformed Tyson along with some hard work from number 0. And Kenny Dillingham has got to be thrilled. Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. Jordan Tyson, the touchdown. He's now over 1,000 yards. The first guy in Sun Devil colors since Brandon Ayuk to go over 1,000 in a season. That first step.
He's so twitchy.
Wow.
So twitchy. And as Kenny Dillingham said, the work that Hines Ward, you just saw Hines Ward coaching those guys up. Kenny Dillingham was really clear, and he's been adamant. He's an open book. Like, this isn't about me. Don't put the attention on me. Give it to Marcus Arroyo. Give it to Brian Ward. Give it to Hines Ward. Give it to those guys that are coaching and doing so much of that developmental work.
He's 34 years old. Patterson on the return. Arizona needed it badly. Jeremiah Patterson across midfield and then some. Parker Lewis had to make the tackle, the kicker, off the 62-yard return.
Well, you said it right. They had to have, right? They have to find takeaways. They've not found any of those. And then the explosive big plays. They can't go toe-to-toe with all of the injuries and the depleted roster. So somebody has to step up and do the extraordinary and make 1, 2, 3 guys miss and have the speed to just flip the field and put Arizona in scoring position finally.
Now you just have to pay it off if you're Brent Brennan and Patterson here.
You got to control the ball a little bit too, because you are not stopping Arizona State.
Fifita on the roll. He'll throw. It's McMillan once again. That's his third catch. So over from San Jose State. Tough place to win a bunch of games. He found a way, Brent Brennan did, and hoping to bring that ability to build a program back here.
Yeah, and it's really felt like the guys have continued to practice hard. They've continued to play hard. And I understand schematically what they're trying to do because they are so overwhelmed at the line of scrimmage. But the next 3-4 weeks for Brent Brennan in this portal will be hugely important.
The gain is 6. Fifita looking up top. That's a long throw, and it's incomplete. So third down on the way.
Yeah, that was I don't know exactly what's in the alley. I can't see it. And there's times at 5'9", 5'10" that Noah's in that pocket. And if you can't see it, then you've got to protect that ball and throw it away.
12 picks this year. They have declined in the last 4. Just 2 interceptions the last 4 games. That's helped. Third and 4 down the middle, and it's knocked away. Oh, what a spike by Simmons. He's been so important to this secondary. What a play.
Yeah, he's a glue guy. He's the nickel, and he can really play receivers. He can play tight ends. He gets beat, and he gets beat pretty badly there off the jump. That throw is a little bit late, and then it allows Simmons, and you see the twitch and going right for the football, knowing exactly where to swipe down and spike it away.
Nobody played more defensive snaps than him last year for Arizona State as Tyler Loop is on to try to get Arizona on the board. It'll be from 50. Late substitution, and this kick is on the way, and I believe they're going to blow it dead before the kick because of that.
That's Sabanaya that is running on the field offsides.
And if that moves him back 5, then you're 55.
Full start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Brennan wanted the timeout.
That was actually Wooten that is running on the field. He sees him running, and he wants the timeout. And he does not get that timeout. The ball had just been snapped. Your job there is you got to scream that at that official, and you've got to get, it's not his job, right, to see that. You've got to get in his vision. They do not, and the good news for Arizona is that Loop can kick it from 70. It's the only saving grace.
He can currently kick it to the Chicago Loop from where they are. There's a grassroots ASU chant that's growing here. From 55 this time, and that's slicing. It had the leg, but it's no good.
And wasn't that and isn't that emblematic of that man's season this year?
Wow. Shutout still intact. It's a slip from Loop. Fox College Football sponsored by Skyrizi. Senior day for Arizona. Quali Conley, Montana, Lemonius Craig. Kicker Loop, who just slipped on that field goal. I mean, what a magical season they had last year. You said it off the top, Brock. These two teams have basically traded places.
Totally flipped. Totally flipped. Double-digit win season for Jedd Fisch in Arizona a season ago. NFL guys stayed healthy. And just a totally different story this year. ASU just 3 wins last year, but they fought and they scrapped, and you could feel some of this coming.
Arizona State's already run for 116 yards. There's Scadaboo. Allison downstairs.
Well, kind of a cool moment during senior day here, guys. Tetairoa McMillan, who is a junior, was out there with the Lemonius Craig family. He came out to join them and greet Montana when he was recognized, and just shows how close these guys are. We know about his relationship with Fifita and Mano, having played with them in high school, but very close with Montana as well. And he was recognized in the first quarter. His name, picture up on the video board as the all-time leading receiver receiver here at Arizona.
Passing Bobby Wade, they've had some great ones here. Great catch and run tailback Scadaboo is there for a first down to midfield, gain of 9, and a lot of whistles coming in. There's a flag down as well at the Arizona 42.
And again, I think this is why the guy will play at the next level. He is such a good pass catcher as well, that being Scadaboo. Second leading receiver on this team, in fact.
It's his 35th catch of this year. Our referee, Luke Richmond.
Foul. Illegal blindside block. Offense. Number 0. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
It's on Tyson.
Yeah, they like to do this, get an empty, and they just run him on a little under, and you're going to see Tyson at the end of this. He's going to try to help come back and block right there on Tay Brown, the linebacker. Back in the day, not a penalty. In this day and age, that's 100% the right call.
Chuck Cecil on the other sideline. We used to do that 15 times a quarter. He was part of the group that spoke to the Arizona players before this game, by the way, the former defensive back who had a big pick 6 in this series a couple of decades ago. Levitt hopping in the pocket. He's got Brown, and Brown has an entire desert in front of him.
Yeah, so Arizona and Dwayne Aquina love to play man-to-man, and part of the reason is when they play zone, look at the guys here, they just totally lose sight. I mean, that is as easy as it gets right there. There is nobody, as you said, within 10 yards of Brown. That is now, Jason, already the 5th play over 20 yards. Look at that, over 23 yards in the game. Getting it done, chunk after chunk.
For a school that's only had 3 10-win seasons since 1975, this has been a program-changing season, and that is a stiff arm to the ground from Scadaboo. That was against Gavin Hunter, the freshman.
Yeah, you can work on tackling. 23 missed tackles a week ago for Arizona, and they spent some extra time on it, but you can't tackle that guy one-on-one. I mean, you just can't. Once he gets going, it takes somebody grabbing his legs and the rest of the crew to come.
So he had the stiff arm on him after the shoulder, and then he put his hand on him again and just kind of swept him away.
Yeah. 3 times the total yards of the Wildcats by himself.
Play action Levitt, pressure coming, and he just sneaks by, scrambles to the right. Levitt, we'll see if he throws it away or tries to make a play. He's going to launch it deep down the field and incomplete for Guillory. That's good pocket awareness, right? He saw the defensive end trip a little bit, knew he had a little extra time.
Yep.
Injured party is Gavin Hunter, the freshman.
Yeah, just poise, right? That word that Kenny made up.
Composed.
Composed.
I like it.
And you have seen that with him. And he was pretty honest with us on the call this week, saying, yeah, man, I've always been a worker, and I knew I could do this, but I had to learn how to lead over the course of the season, and he's done it.
It'd be a 30-second timeout.
He said, until you know, can I really lead a team every single drive, every single game? You don't exactly know it. I know you know that feeling.
Until you get in there, man, time on task, and you earn the respect of your coaches and everyone around you.
I mean, that's a young man who's a redshirt freshman, and you wouldn't believe what he's got posted on his mirror at home, Allison.
Yes, he has written on his mirror, how great do you want to be? And he's had it up there all year. He wants to see it every time he sees his reflection in the mirror. It's kind of the motto he goes by. He also has a sheet of paper with the top 25 quarterbacks from the preseason. He even starred the ones he really doesn't like, and he has crossed off the names of the teams they have beat through the year. So you want to get a little insight to the mentality, the chip on the shoulder of Levitt. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, Rocky just had Drago in the mirror in Siberia. He's got a lot of guys that he's trying to take down on his way to the top.
But it's everything you'd want in a leader, right? The belief, the build, the drive, the motivation. Everybody watched The Last Dance. 3rd and 5. Handed off Scadaboo. And he'll duck forward. He'll be about half a yard short, and I'd imagine this is a go for it.
Yep, especially with their kicking situation.
Just 1 for their last 5 in field goal attempts. Kenny Dillingham. Oh, you heard somebody yell, "Let's go." Maybe another word or two.
And it's going to be that same, what do you call it, Sparky? Can't call Wildcat today.
Can't do it. Sparky. Wild scat. On 4th and 1. That is toughness. Right through the tunnel for a first down, Arizona State.
Yeah, and I think by this time, Arizona knows what's coming out of this formation. They know it's going to be a block down and a pull around, but it really doesn't matter. And it is one of the greatest feelings as an offense when you know you can just call it and run it. And even if the defense knows what's coming and they can't stop it, it breaks their will.
You feel that?
Oh, you do. Like you just line up and you can look at the guys on the other side, basically. And there have been times, I played on a great Washington team with Corey Dillon and other guys, Olin Kreutz, like, you know what's coming and you just cannot stop it.
High snap. Brown will handle this time, and he gets sideswiped. Nice play by Dalton Johnson, the safety turned linebacker.
You know, I had the good fortune, Jason, of watching those Seahawks through those years and watching their run and their dominance, and you see Scatterboo right behind Hines Ward. It kind of reminds me of Marshawn Lynch.
Does he?
Yeah, because Marshawn had that same personality that just elevates people, man, just creates a confidence and a belief. And Scatterboo does the exact same thing for this program. They all look to him first.
He did everything for him last year. Here's a screen. They'll drop it off. This is a first down and then some for Mateer. Shimon Mateer, the tight end, a 2-time transfer, first down.
That's just another cool, crafty little wrinkle from Marcus Arroyo. You'll see the tight end come across, and then, well, let's just get the screen out in front of him. I love the way that Arroyo all season long is like stack these concepts in place. Here comes the gaps, you know, here comes the gap screen off of it. Here comes the end around, here comes the end around screen off of it. Here comes the tight end to cut off block. Here comes the screen off of it. Constantly stacking those different looks on top of the familiar plays.
Scatterboo, stretch it out wide behind Boley. Scatterboo rummaging for extra yards inside the 5.
This is just a clinic, isn't it?
It is. Surgery.
I mean, I think the one maybe concern you had if you're a Sun Devil fan is like, wow, haven't really been in this spot much. This is only year 2. It's way ahead of schedule. Can they handle this moment? Is this stage and this rivalry going to be too big? I think they've answered it pretty well the first 20 minutes in.
So the offensive lineman, Poulet, is in as the fullback. Scatterboo. Goodness gracious. A ramrod into the end zone.
How would you like to be Jared Small?
I wouldn't.
How would you like to just, okay, here comes the run. I'm going to get hit, and then I'm just going to get run over. I mean, that's both, unfortunately, Dalton Johnson, who's a converted safety that's got to be down there. That's Jared Small, a backup linebacker that's thrown into just that Brahma bowl. They said he could be a bull rider. I think he's actually the bull.
It may not have been the best decision for Arizona to wear all red today in that case. Just hypothetically, yes. If he's snorting and looking for a cape, there are 11 of them.
Yeah, coming in hot, just like the fajita. I write what I live, my life in the speaker.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, an ugly scene breaks out after a major upset in Columbus. Alabama looks to avoid an upset in the Iron Bowl, and Notre Dame aims for a 10th straight win and a punch ticket to the college football playoffs. Jason and Brock, we'll see you at the half.
Nobody mimes a punch ticket like Mike Hill. He just punched that ticket.
How about the punch into the mouth by Sparky today? I mean, this is, they have looked great through, they don't want November to end.
It's a riff on Green Day, right? Wake me up when November ends. Into the end zone. This Big 12 is full of outstanding running backs. We're seeing one today.
Yeah, I mean, I had to leave a couple of them off as well, but R.J. Harvey is just phenomenal. Over 20 rushing touchdowns. Taj Brooks, you know, school record holder down there at Texas Tech. Devin Neal, school record holder, like the best all time. Yeah. Like you could look at a bunch of those guys and say the best all time at their schools. DJ Giddens has been a monster, just as Deion Sanders, who told us, like, man, as far as a pro goes, that's the best future pro we played against. And fortunately for Colorado, they didn't have to try to tackle this guy.
Back-to-back 3 touchdown games for Scadaboo, including that win against BYU. Fifita on first down too high. Do you think the NFL shifts at some point? If running backs keep getting better and better, do you think there's more of an embrace?
Well, I think old Saquon and Derrick Henry are kind of making some waves. I think if I had the MVP vote in the NFL and the season ended today, Saquon Barkley's my MVP.
You're just pandering to our producer, Bo Garrett, right now. Eagles fan as he is.
No, I'm not. But the great receivers, that's awesome. Quarterbacks obviously matter the most. But I think the running backs, certainly in this conference and the NFL, are showing you we belong too.
Fifita on a screen. That whistle's wide. It is incomplete. Olsen was engaged in a block. McMillan was the target.
Does it just feel like Arizona State is a step ahead on everything?
Oh, yeah. I would say a step and a half, 2 steps ahead.
I mean, they are just right there defensively, a body on everything. I mean, they are flying and playing fast. Offensively speaks for itself. The 4 just demonstrative touchdowns. I mean, they have now made Arizona one-dimensional, which is exactly what could not happen for the Wildcats.
Total yards is 306 to 34. You saw the yards of this quarter specifically. Fifita climbing the pocket, trying to make a play. 3rd down, there's a marker in. He takes a licking, and it's incomplete. Keyshawn Elliott drilled him, the transfer from New Mexico State. There are 2 markers down. I know you're feeling that as a quarterback.
Oh. Noah is one tough hombre.
Holding, offense, number 77. That penalty's declined. Be 4th down.
We talked to him earlier this year. He said, look, his dad was his coach, right? Yep. And he just gets up off the ground to make his dad proud.
Well, he's 185 pounds. I mean, he is not a big guy. You can see the hold when he scrambles right near him right there. And this is 230 pounds just exploding into your chest and landing on you.
But you think about Elliott, right? New Mexico State transfer. And you said it to Kenny Dillingham, right? They've pulled from Group of 5 schools in a major way. They also have very productive guys from other programs with different situations that they've kind of run into. And Cam Scadaboo is one of them. Transfer from Sacramento State.
Yeah, and just hyper productive in high school. Unbelievable at Sacramento State. And, you know, as Kenny Dillingham says about his kind of Group of 5 guys, like, we know they can play. You just got to have them, give them that opportunity. And then you surround them with all these chip-on-their-shoulder Power 4 guys. Jason, there are 46 scholarship transfers. And I was catching up on the field with Danny White, the great Arizona State legend, before the game. He said, Brock, it's the most amazing thing. You would never imagine that there's 46 new guys. I mean, they are close. And obviously the success helps foster all of that culture and the belief. But, yeah, they've done an awesome job in the portal in 1 year, showing you with the right additions, you can turn things in a hurry.
It's the temperament of the head coach as well. That's part of it. Kenny Dillingham will wave that off, but he is a big part of this thing as this throw goes to Guillory, and he'll charge ahead. But yeah, talking to Arroyo, the offensive coordinator, I don't know that either of us ever heard this, but hearing him and Brian Ward talk about Kenny Dillingham, it was Ward who said to us, there are not a lot of 4th and 1 days in terms of temperament for Kenny Dillingham, right? Last year there was chaos around the program with everything going on with sanctions, etc. They win 3 games, and Ward said, look, there's some coaches, it's 4th and 1 every day in emotion, and that was not the case for a team that really stayed the course and set themselves up for this type of season. That's Scadaboo for a yard. We kind of saw it coming. You know, we had Oregon a couple years ago. Kenny Dillingham was the offensive coordinator for Dan Lanning with that team. That but for the Washington Huskies probably would have been in the Pac-12 title game. He's an inventive play caller But Kenny Dillingham has done as good of a job as anybody in college football, giving up those reins and seeing the forest for the trees as a head coach.
Yeah, and I remember watching him at Oregon. That's what this feels like, right? Where they were just such a machine and had seemingly an answer on almost every play and certainly every series.
Levitt on the roll. He's going to run and live to see another day. He didn't want to get hit by Kennelly. So third down coming up. Kenny Dillingham told us when he was 18, he'd be like, if we told him that he was going to be the head coach at Arizona State, he'd be like, you're kidding me. But then once he got to about 22, 23, he wanted to be a head coach. He wanted this type of situation, and it comes at his alma mater.
Yeah, and that success was pretty profound at Memphis. He had Bo Nix there at Auburn. He brought ultimately Bo Nix to Oregon with him, where they absolutely both took off together. And at 34, and he feels wise beyond his years as a very young head coach.
In a Big 12 that feels like it could turn over like this every year. That's a little high, and it's a big hit across the middle of Mateer. He got drilled by Genesis Smith. There is no marker in, but reminder, they could add targeting if it were.
For an injury.
Not saying that there was, just saying that that would be allowed to add it on a play.
Now, this is right between the shoulder blades. And as a quarterback, you've got to do your best to not throw your guys into those kind of collisions.
And that's a clean hit, by
totally
the way.
clean. He doesn't go for the head. I mean, he hits him right between the shoulder blades, and I promise you, sucked the oxygen right out of the lungs. And I put that a whole bunch more on Sam Levitt. You feel horrible as a quarterback when you do that. Because those guys trust you when they run down the middle of the field, and Arizona is largely a single safety team.
Meaning what for our audience?
Yeah, instead of two safeties back there where maybe that seam route can split those safeties, more times than not, they've got a free safety standing back there to do just that, to take those seams away. And then when you throw one high and you expose, Taylor's a big guy now, 6'4", 255. But that was a shot, as I said, right there between the...
Honestly, you don't...
That hurt?
Well, no, just for the folks that are at home that can't see in the booth, which is literally everybody. Okay, as I'm trying to talk,
Sure.
Brock is trying to show me exactly where that hurts, which is just, you know, the apex of partnership.
Sure,
This is why I love doing games with you.
It's rivalry weekend, Jason.
Yeah, well, every weekend is rivalry weekend in this booth. So, to be clear, Mateer walks off under his own power. Producer Bo Garrett's going to mix in a promo after the punt, so we stop talking to each other.
That's about the only mistake, and the first time we've seen Arizona State have to punt.
Canyon Floyd to boot it away. It's a fair catch for Patterson. And now this. Tomorrow on Fox, two of the NFC's best go head-to-head. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals having a very nice season in their own right. Take on Justin Jefferson and the Vikings, or the Bucks battle the Panthers, or other regional action. Check your local listings for the game in your area. It's all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. NFC North is
Brutal.
scary.
You got to run the ball.
Here or in the NFC North?
In both. Yep, in the NFL, I mean, you just can't play this game one-dimensionally. Even though you're down 28, you got to find a way, like on this possession, to hold on to the ball and run it a little bit.
For Fafita's sake, too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's Conley on a stretch play, and he'll stiff arm his way across the 25. That's why you do it.
Yeah, that's what Arizona did really well last year. Jonah Coleman now up in Seattle, right? When you watch this game last year, it is almost impossible to imagine that 12 months later it would look like this. But that's the transactional nature of college football. Things change in a hurry. Last year, Arizona was winning the line of scrimmage with an NFL first-round left tackle and an NFL right tackle, an NFL tight end, another NFL receiver, an NFL running back, right? And those guys are just largely not here anymore.
Run it again on 2nd and 2. Just about the same run. Conley gets to the outside. It's Rouser on the tackle. He is down. It's a gain of 10. So both safeties forced into tackling duty on the last 2 plays. But I think that's part of the allure of the Big 12 going forward, right? We've had a number of coaches in this league say it could flip every year.
Yes. There's not an Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Oregon at the very top of it, right? There's not
Ohio
Alabama.
State ahead of Michigan.
What's that?
You just say Ohio State
I
before
apologize.
Michigan?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oregon.
Our spotter is a Michigan alumnus. He didn't like that very much. Adam?
But there aren't just those heavyweight, right, blue-blooded power programs whose budgets are so much more extraordinary than others.
Charge timeout. Arizona State. Second charge timeout of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
And Arizona State, right, you're talking about college football playoff possibilities. If they win today, they need one of these 3 things. To be clear, it's one of those 3. TCU winning, Kansas State winning, BYU winning. Now the problem is only one of those 3 is favored. They had 2 outs, as they put it, at the poker table right earlier on. In Kansas, could have beat Baylor. They didn't. West Virginia could have beat Texas Tech. They didn't. So it was 5 that gave them the chance. As you see Mateer going to the locker room. Still a good possibility if they win that they're getting into the Big 12 title.
Yeah, hard to picture Houston going up to Provo, but that will be later today.
Do you watch the game before us?
That's true. Anything can happen on any given Saturday.
It's a run, and it is a nice play by Welch. Conley got hit. Well, Terrence Welch was in there first. Jeff Clark closed up shop.
Yeah, just a corner blitz. I mean, you could not have a better call. You'll see it right there. Right, going with the motion man, that was the tight end, and then pulling the trigger was Welch right into the backfield, and the rest of the posse came closing.
Fifita feels the heat, sidesteps, and it's incomplete off the hands of Conley. Elliott was bearing down on him. A little bit of extra zip on that ball, and a little wide maybe, right?
Yeah, I mean, just a little bit hot, but this is kind of like the Colorado game we watched, right, where Noah was just getting hit and very little help. I mean, that's one you got to catch, and you got to help your quarterback out. How many times have we said that watching these Arizona games? You got to help this guy out. You got to get run game. You got to protect him. You got to help him. Because when he had that help last year, man, he thrived.
Third and 13, a lot of movement right before the snap for Arizona State to disguise the pressure. Fifita is wrangled, and a flag comes in. Might be a face mask here. It was Elijah O'Neal that took him down, and he knows what he did on that tackle, it looks like. He's not happy with himself.
Yeah, multiple flags down here, though.
There's one at the 29. There's one at the 43.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the defense. Holding, offense, number 18. That penalty decline. Personal foul, face mask. Defense, number 15. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's the one that goes because it's the 15.
Correction, the holding was on the defense.
We got you. Yeah. You felt that as a quarterback. You're like, okay, I'm getting sacked, but how does that feel?
Well, the nice thing is you do know those will be 15 yards.
Yes.
So in that situation.
Can you convince yourself it feels good at that point?
Yeah, a little bit. Especially when you're down 28. You'll take that first down.
2-minute timeout here in Tucson. All Sun Devils. Fox College football sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Cars, homes, boats, motorcycles, RVs, and more. Chuck Cecil, coach now for Arizona with a pick to seal a game in 1985 in this Territorial Cup. Big field goals from Max and Dejas. And Chuck Cecil was rather fired up before the game for this one. I mean, 8 years in the NFL, one of the hardest hitting players you will ever see.
Savage.
First down for Arizona. Fifita will drop it off, and he's got a completion to about the 45. There's a marker in at the 32.
That's going to be a hold on the corner, Abney.
I would imagine they'll take the penalty here. Reset only a couple yards.
Defense, number 1. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
So here's Chuck Cecil before the game with his safety, Owen Goss.
The game clock will start on the snap.
Get into it, Chuck. And then the eventual result is that.
So good.
I mean,
that rivalry never goes away. When you've been in
Chuck
the battle,
versus everybody?
Yeah, he wishes he could still suit up and play.
Fifita chucks it down the field. It's a little bit high for McMillan, which is tough to do.
I mean, that looked like him on the volleyball court back in the day. Look at the elevation. Remember, he is 6'5", 40-plus inch vert, and he just can't get to it.
Is there an argument for him to win the Biletnikoff Award?
I mean, that's going to be hard on a 4-7 team when you're talking Travis Hunter as well, and what he did to kind of elevate everybody around him. I know he can elevate.
What if Travis Hunter wins the Heisman? Right. Second down. Fifita gets rid of one, and he's going to go ahead and run up the sideline. I believe he stepped out of bounds prior to the line of game. It's a tough group. It's a tough award to win this year. Nick Nash has been really good for San Jose State as well.
Yeah, and you can just see the kind of production there. And I'm not going to eliminate Travis Hunter because he's going to win the Heisman as well, him or Genty. I don't say, well, you win that award. You don't. If you're the most deserving, and certainly as a receiver and the threat he is and elevating his team around him, the 3 hyper-productive guys, just been such a tough year for these Wildcats.
Conley can't squeeze through. He's stopped at the 31 by Elijah O'Neal, who had the penalty a couple of plays ago, and it'll be 4th down.
Charge timeout, Arizona State.
Sun Devils want the ball back.
Sure do.
It'll be a full timeout. Please reset the game clock for 1 minute, 30 seconds. 1, 3, 0.
You could say they've made quite a splash here in the first half. The Sun Devils, as we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. You're welcome. Sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years.
Yeah, pretty good half there from some of the stars. We saw also Jordan Tyson get involved with a touchdown, but Sam Levitt spreading the ball around. Scattaboo running through just about anybody and everybody with 3 first-half touchdowns, and you can see the lack of efficiency there for Arizona offensively. Just 5 of 14 for Noah, a couple drops, a couple overthrows. Just no continuity.
How do you find it? I mean, what do you do if you're Arizona here in the last 31
Well, the first thing
minutes?
you do is keep him off the field. You move the chains here, and you continue to possess the ball because you got no answers for what ASU is doing offensively.
4th and 1. Look at Abney communicating for Arizona State. Motion coming from Hunter. Conley is not going to get there. Jeff Clark shut the door. It's all Sun Devils.
He's yet again one of those transfers, and he's right in the middle of the action, right there, right at the point of attack. And you will hear D-line coaches talk about defeating blocks. Just a one-on-one battle right there with Michael Wooten. He gets underneath him. He's 6'1", and he just defeats that block. He sheds that block so he can knock Conley to the ground. And these guys, you get on a run like this, and you can just feel it.
Isn't he the perfect example of what you were talking about with Kenny Dillingham, where he draws from? He went Louisville, Georgia State,
Yep.
Arizona State.
Yep. And how about his buddy getting him off the field with the helmet off so there's no penalty involved?
Very smart.
Smart.
Levitt, little pump, and a go. Down the sideline. Oh, my gracious. Jordan Tyson, come on.
Oh, you like that body control?
Whoa.
Rolling on the field is a completed catch for a first down.
That is going to be some kind of poster.
That's a catch, right?
Yes.
Inbounds is under further review.
Did he hold on to it all the way through? Did he complete the catch? The foot's down. We're sure of that.
Yeah.
The ball can touch the ground if it has full control in the hands of the receiver. And Hines Ward, your thoughts?
Hines could do a lot of things. He could throw it. He could block. Could Hines Ward do that?
I don't know. Mike Pereira might know. Mike, what do you see on that play?
Well, I mean, I like the catch. I mean, the left toe's down, and you are right. He is going to the ground, so he has to hold on to the ball. I was actually surprised that they stopped it.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a completed catch has been confirmed.
And really, at that point of the game, I really was a bit surprised because there was no indication that it would have been incomplete.
Mike, you liked it. I think Benetti loved it. That was.
Well, but, you know, he's an artist. He loves to see artistry, you know, and that was artistry in motion, yes.
No question.
Thank you, Mike.
Happy Thanksgiving, pal.
Same to you guys.
That was beautiful. Honestly, that was artistic. The body control. Wow.
This whole team's playing out of their minds right now. Arizona State. It's a first down across the 40. There's Tyson one more time. We saw TCU a lot a couple of years ago in their magical run. Not the same team, but the same level of self-assuredness.
Yeah, and individually,
Davis is down, by the way.
not nearly as good as the sum of all the parts.
Officials timeout.
And then like that TCU, that crazy Horned Frog team, right, that we got to see, they just were brimming with confidence. Like, what's going to be next? Who's going to do something next? Who's going to make that next play next? Who's going to be posterizing? And, I mean, that was – Jordan Tyson's not making that catch when he transferred here. Tore his ACL, hit bottom there at Colorado on an awful 1-11 team, had to just build himself back up and mature as a pro. And that guy who's in his ear right there, Hines Ward, has been an enormous part of it behind the scenes.
You talk about effect of one coach on one player. It's profound what Hines Ward has done with Tyson. They were picked to finish last. And, you know, off a 9-loss season last year, nobody's going to blame people for saying that, but you just win the close games and the confidence build. You see it in every sport. They haven't been to a conference title game since they lost to Stanford 11 years ago in the Pac-12 final that season, as we check in downstairs with Allison Williams.
Well, you look at this ASU season, I love what defensive coordinator Brian Ward told us. They've won close games, right? And you win a couple, it builds that belief, that confidence. They've stayed healthy, which is something, you know, that's kind of out of everybody's control. And he said, and sometimes the season picks you. And it feels that way a little bit for ASU.
It's magic sometimes.
And it's the exact opposite for these guys.
Yeah.
Like, what is going to go wrong next? Which captain are we going to lose? Which captain are we going to lose? Which captain are we going to lose? Which great player? Like, just over and over and over again for the guys from Tucson.
Levitt hopping in the pocket. He'll get it away. That's Tyson. Catch and run. He turned the corner so quickly on a route that he had to come back to the ball. Then it's just turbojets.
Yeah, he's just got unique acceleration. And they use him everywhere. So you can't really bracket him. You can't take him away because they put him in the slot. They put him outside. They put him in motion. Marcus Arroyo does a really good job with his star pieces of making sure they get their touches in a variety of ways.
All first half, Tyson, Scatterboot. Levitt down the middle. That's going to be incomplete into the shadows for Tyson. Second down. Back to that catch and run.
Yeah, we've talked to coaches over the course of the year that don't really like to catch balls with their back to the end zone. They like to be catching them while they're running. But in that case, that's what he's doing. He's coming all the way back to the ball, but he's doing it knowing I'm going to turn that corner with acceleration and get those yards after catch. Such a big part of this ASU offense.
Who are the great ones in space for you that you watched?
Oh, man. I mean, Marvin Harrison was just a different kind of human.
Levitt steps out of a tackle. He'll throw on the go. That's a touchdown. It's Mateer back in the game.
It's a statement. And you can hear the chant in this building.
It's their 6th play, 22 yards or more in this game, and they're halfway home to the 70 they hung up in the COVID season in Kevin Sumlin's final game as Arizona head coach. Parker Lewis can't lose. The extra point is good.
And Mateer is another one of these weapons. It's not just Tyson and Scadaboo. That's now 5 touchdown receptions. I mean, he's right here, and you're going to see him just run that vertical, and a tremendous job by Levitt right there. QBs work on that all the time, right? Your left guard, Coleman, gets beat a little bit. You step up around that, and then, well, the transfer from Cincinnati has shown you a unique burst, man. 6'4", 255, and can run. 5 touchdowns in Cincinnati, was productive there, and yeah, I love what Levitt said to us. You know what I am, man? I'm a winner. I've always been a winner.
7 is 83.
And he's well on his way of being 10-1 as a starter now in Arizona State.
And Hines Ward, we were talking to Tyson about Hines Ward, and he said he knows everything. He's done it all. Why wouldn't I listen to him?
Yes.
And that's a powerful pedigree for a coach.
I mean, aren't we seeing that out of a 9-3 Colorado team?
Warren
I mean,
Sapp.
is that not Warren Sapp and the different pieces up there that Deion Sanders has assembled, and Pat Shurmur, and just a number of the assistants there all over that roster. And yeah, man, when someone's done at the highest level and that's where you want to get to, you're going to be tuned in to the message on a daily.
5 touchdowns on 6 drives. Arizona State has had the ball for nearly 20 minutes of this first half. Patterson won't even get this one. We remind you, Friday night on Fox, Heisman hopeful Ashton Jeanty and number 11 Boise State try to capture back-to-back conference championships and punch their ticket to the college football playoff. They'll take on either UNLV in a rematch or Colorado State for the Mountain West Championship. Coverage starts Friday, 7 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. So excited to see Ashton Jeanty next week, Friday. Hope you can join us for that. But for Travis Hunter and all of the snaps he plays and all of the electricity, it would be Jeanty's award, you'd imagine, right?
Going to be Hunter's Heisman.
No, but for Travis
But,
Hunter.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, it took a superhuman effort.
By someone doing something never done before in the sport. Yep.
Fifita on a screen for Conley. Conley is dumped down to the ground by Alford. Allison, what do you got?
Talking about Heisman Trophy finalists, why not Cam Scadaboo? Should he not be in New York? Could he get there if he has a big game in the Big 12 championship game?
Yeah, I think that is a fair question, as we have learned about this Heisman for right, wrong, better, or worse. When a narrative gets created, right, and people get talked about so much as Travis did and certainly Jeanty did over the course of the season, it's hard to play catch-up no matter what you do. But I will say this, as a Heisman voter, he has got to be in consideration.
Well, we have microphones here, you know what I mean? I think everybody that talks about college football is part of the narrative and the narrative creation. And watching his tape, what do you think?
Oh, he absolutely deserves to be in New York City. If there are 4, 5, 6 guys, I think he's one of the 6 best players in college football. I think taking a 3-9 team and putting it on your shoulders and having the kind of production he has, and what we from the outside, right, until we do games, right, and we have such an opportunity, Jason, as we get closer to these teams than most in the media get, certainly on a national level, and you see just the influence and impact he's had on everybody in the building. It's unique.
Fifita is sacked. It's O'Neal. No face mask this time.
Wow.
It buzzed around the corner.
Yeah, and this is just a mismatch again on this injury-riddled Arizona team. That's Capra, been a guard really most of his career. He's had to bounce out to play tackle because of the injuries there, multiple injuries, multiple starters lost. And these guys from Tempe are just feasting on it.
Running up some bills on Mill Avenue right now.
And a few more later tonight, probably, too.
First half shot first, right? Throw the first punch. Downstairs, Allison Williams.
For Brent Brennan in Arizona, the question he posed to his team at the half was this: how do you want it to feel at the end? This is it, guys. They don't have another game after this. There's no postseason for Arizona. He told them, you have 30 minutes of football life left together. How will you answer? How will you respond? And how do you want it to feel when this thing ends? As for Kenny Dillingham, also a big message: finish. He told his guys, we haven't closed it out well the last couple weeks with big leads. We need to do that here. Finish this thing off right.
Well, certainly for Arizona State, looking forward to a possible Big 12 title game. That's a huge message. Quali Conley, one of those seniors, taking Brent Brennan's comments to heart on a nice gain of 16.
Yeah, and I think it will be a bigger challenge for Arizona State, frankly. When you play that kind of half, you don't want it to end. You just want to be like, okay, let's go. Get to the second. I don't want any kind of break. And for Arizona, it is a little gut check time. It is a little bit of, wow, that was unbelievably embarrassing. You could see the first half production. I mean, you just couldn't get anything done. So they're going to come out and try to throw some punches back. And let's see if Arizona State's got the maturity to match it.
Fake the toss. They'll go with Patterson on a little counter end around, and he's not going to get a whole lot. CJ Fight with the stop. Second down. Well, Arizona State, as we talked about, with a win and one of three things happening, one of any of the three of a TCU win, a Kansas State win, and a BYU win. Those are or one of those three, and they would get into the Big 12 title game against somebody. Conley, the tailback, is jostled. There's a towel that goes up in the air. It's third down coming up. All right, so visual proof, and here's what it is. If you know what to root for as an Arizona State fan, it'll make your night a little more interesting, and that's what you need to root for. One of those three.
Yeah, and it's fitting for the Big 12 this year. For Kenny Dillingham and everybody involved in this conference. Saw some of the Big 12 conference officials on the field before the game. Like, yeah, of course, as topsy-turvy and up and down as this year has been, it's going to come down to the final minutes tonight in Provo.
Fifita will go to the far side, and he has the completion for McMillan. He's yanked down by Abney. That's a big body out there.
Yeah, that's a nice job. Even if you are a big body, you still have to come back to the football. Right? Even if you are 4 or 5 inches bigger, you still fight to come back to your quarterback. We saw Tyson do that on a really nice catch and run, and that time moving the sticks.
On first down, Fifita to McMillan. A little dance, and he'll pick up about 6. Teteroa McMillan, his 5th catch.
I have a sense here in the final, 27 minutes, he's going to get targeted a lot.
He's already got 12 targets. 12.
I think that number is going to get to 20 before this game ends.
Really?
Yeah. His final game is the Arizona Wildcat. Yes.
That is specifically the combination Brent Brennan mentioned to the fans before the game as they'll stretch it out for Risano, and he gets sideswiped by Rouser. That's a nice hit along with Simmons there as well. So third down coming up. Rouser, another one of those guys, couple of transfers, New Mexico State, Campbell.
Yeah, Simmons, and Alford come out of this secondary with a fury. Rouser, the leading tackler, Alford, the second leading tackler, Simmons right there as well. I mean, all three of those guys in this scheme have flourished because they are all willing to come downhill and finish.
Third down run. It's a first down, and Risano, who's spiked down spine first by Alford.
Well, we showed in that first half, Arizona State, especially on a fourth down, defeating blocks. Nice job here, right inside, by both Baker and Deuce, the center and the right guard, to win. Right, to get a body on a body, move somebody. So Ricino can get a little production done on the ground. Best drive of the game by far for Arizona with the mix in the run and the pass.
Bogged down a couple times, tried a long field goal, down 21-0, couldn't hit. Pressure from the secondary, picked up, end zone, there he is. McMillan, touchdown. That was a little thank you to the fans in the end zone.
That was a nice little double move, and when Brent Brennan, who's coached receivers a long time, says this guy just moves differently. He moves like a small receiver, right? When he's changing direction like that on a double move, he never slows down. That's what makes him so unique at 6'5", takes a little shot, does Fifita. But those two have been doing it for a long, long time together.
Very close friends. Came here from Servite High School together.
That was a pretty good response from Arizona.
It's everything you could want if you're Brent Brennan. The score's not in your favor, but if you're looking for pride, you're looking for, hey, you got 30 minutes left together, you'll take it. Fox College football sponsored by Wendy's new Saucy Nugs. A whole new way to nug. Thanksgiving dinner for both teams on this Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend. You had Thanksgiving dinner at halftime too, you know.
Can you imagine how many calories were consumed?
Oh my gosh.
Between these two rosters.
All right, so as you say that, tell people how linemen eat as we see what Arizona did on that first game. You can peek at that, right? You can peek at that drive. That'll make you happy.
That was a good drive.
How do linemen eat?
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah, they just graze. Typically all day long, too, right. Yes.
35-7, Arizona State will have it. Speaking of food, time now for Above and Beyond, sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. Arizona State, almost a perfect first half.
I mean, look at that. We've hardly even talked about Levitt. Look at that efficiency. I mean, on pace for a career day and then some. Tyson has maximized every single touch, and, well, Scatterboo doing kind of Scatterboo things.
Can I sell you on leads being tough to hold on to in this series?
Sure.
Arizona State was up 27-15 in the fourth quarter in '94 and lost on a missed field goal. Arizona scored 15 unanswered in the fourth quarter the next year and won 31-28 right before the Rose Bowl season of '96 for Arizona State. This would be a Herculean effort, especially against this guy, Scatterboo, flowing this way. What a run. I mean, that's everything he does in one run, Rob.
Yeah, it is just it's a change of direction. We've seen this with the Devin Neals, right, this season, the Taj Brooks, these low center of gravity guys, and just look at him just bounce and bounce. There's great penetration, but if you come in with your eyes down and you don't bring everything, he is just going to bounce out of that and find the escape valve over and over and over again.
Second and 2, run for Brown. One broken tackle across midfield and a stiff arm for Genesis Smith. It's a gain of 22.
Yeah, and we should probably give even more credit. I mean, we highlight all the stars, but how about the guys up front as well in the job they're doing? That's Boley, right? They play a bunch of different linemen, and he just seals the edge there. Everybody else out in front. This O-line, like this whole team, Jason, just continues to kind of coalesce and grow together. We see the stars. We talk about the stars. But it doesn't really happen until the line of scrimmage solidifies, and it has this season as well.
Guys who've kind of come out of nowhere. Boley, a transfer from Northern State. The right tackle, Ihanachor, just started playing football in 22. And there they go again, blocking for Brown. He's into space inside the 10, first and goal. They just keep churning out big runs.
I mean, just watch this. Watch what's going to happen right here. You're just going to get a body on a body, and then there is nothing but green grass in the poor corner there. Groves Killebrew is just left reaching for air.
189 combined starts.
And they're from all over.
Yep.
I mean, it's not like they've all been together in Tempe, far from it.
Cal, UNLV, Riverside Community College, East LA College, Northern State. Brown is met. There's Dalton Johnson in their first, second and goal. Both running backs are over 100 yards now. Brown and Scadaboo.
I think Scadaboo's saying to Brown, no, we're going to go back to our little Sparky cat. Or maybe not.
We've seen the versatility of where Brown can line up. Scadaboo has been out of that wild scat formation. There's Cam. A little hop through the hole. The balance is what everybody around this program talks about with Scadaboo, and you see it on display basically every play.
Yeah, and I'll just kind of reinforce that story we talked about earlier. And that is, dude's been unbelievably productive, been a great player. But to take that next step, to do that much even more, to lose the body weight, to get quicker, to lose the body fat, when your best player does that, it just sets the table for everybody else. Like if he's willing to do that and as good as he is and productive, then everybody else gets in line behind it.
He ran into an illness early on in the year. He lost some weight with that, and he kind of kept that off, which helped actually, oddly enough, in his development body-wise. Levitt wants the end zone. It's a little too much for Tyson. Oh, and Goss was there, 4th and goal.
Yeah, you get everything you want here, and Levitt knows it. Right, you throw it to the back pylon. We see this all the time. Right, you got man-to-man coverage. You can run that little rub route. Everything is there. Could have thrown it maybe a little earlier. I think some of these receivers, if I got a nitpick, and we saw it earlier with T-Mac, go up with 2 hands. Everybody wants to make these dramatic one-handed catches. Not that.
Do you think that was catchable?
No, that was a little high and wide. But if I'm going to nitpick a little bit, just if you can go up with one, put the other one up there.
Parker Lewis from the hash mark. Ping.
Can hear that in canyons surrounding the area.
Boom.
Fox College Football sponsored by Harbor Freight.
Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. It has been a real struggle in the kicking game for Parker Lewis and Arizona State. Harold Brooks III comes over to console him, but that's now 1 for their last 6 in field goals. 50% this year as a group. When you go into a college football playoff, you have to have 3 as a weapon, don't you?
Yes. Yeah, because then it just creates doubt. Like, I mean, in that percentage is not on 50 plus, 40 plus. It's on what you would expect to be a gimme like that one.
Late hand by Fafita and a smart one. He was going to get clobbered. Instead, it's Conley taking the hit from Watley and McCullough, and it's 2nd down. But look, the door has creaked open just a little bit for Arizona. It's still a 28-point game. I get that. But this drive, you never know.
And ASU this month, for as good as they have played, have seen 3-score leads evaporate.
Last week against BYU, big lead. Came down to the final play. As we all know, both ends were really coming there. Fafita puts his leg into it and gets it over the middle for a Hunter.
Yeah, I will say this about Noah. There can be a lot of chaos around him, and as you mentioned, both tackles here give up some penetration, but that's what I love to see. Step up into that pocket. Even as a littler guy, right, a 5'10", to be able to step up in the pocket, that's where then you can scramble. That is where you can throw on better timing than if you're in constant retreat mode.
Tempo here. Fafita breaks it down, spins back, and throws too much. He was hustled by Kangaika, his former teammate.
And he just takes another shot. That's now 10 hits, 14 hurries.
Oof. That's fight.
I mean, honestly, how many of those on an NFL Sunday do you see? A quarterback
as many as this.
That kind of hit.
Direct hits, you're saying?
Direct shots,
yeah.
You know, driven into the ground. Not necessarily that last one, but Elliott in the first half. And those blows take a toll.
Second and 10 run, and that's Risano nearly breaking it as Rouser just tripped him up. 3rd and short.
Much better job by this offensive line of getting to the second level. I thought in that first half, everything ASU did dictated defensively, offensively, and a little bit more of catch-it mode. And credit again to Baker and Moy setting the table there.
Said it on the first couple drives. Arizona State was a step ahead. That's not the case right now out of the 3rd quarter shoot. Risano again. This time the Sun Devils close the door. And it'll be 4th down and 2. Rouser put the head down.
And Fiaseso just threw all that hair at him, and then Rouser gets to go finish the tackle. Ooh, I don't know.
They're gonna punt.
You run it on 3rd and 3. You got to go here.
You're kind of talking out of both sides of your mouth, right? If you run it and then don't go for it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like you run on 3rd and 3.
That's
It's only so many possessions with 20 minutes left in the game.
That's a clever sign. And now they're going to take the delay. That's
Delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Can I ask you a question? What do you have to lose by going for it?
Yeah, nothing. And you're down 4 scores.
You have to. Do you got to turn them on the side every once in a while? What you have to do.
You were good at Tetris, weren't you?
Yeah, well, that's
Yes.
wasn't a great corner, but yeah, I could
see that.
I could flip a line. That is that did some work.
My filter went up.
It's the first time for everything.
Yes.
That's fair catch. Can safely say that's not the oddest football decision of the weekend. 35-7. Past the quarter pole, down the stretch they come in the Big 12. Arizona State was predicted to finish last, but here they come trying to chase down BYU. Colorado neck and neck with Iowa State. The Cougars are out in front, trying to nose up to the line, but Arizona State's going to make them earn it today. Sorry. I like horse racing.
Wow. It's pretty good.
Sorry.
Yes. Didn't know you had that.
First down.
Back pocket.
Okay. It's been quite the race, the Big 12. Scatterboo ducking through again across the 35. There's a marker that's come in back behind the play.
Holding, offense, number 0. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, 1st down.
They get Tyson here.
Yeah, he's out on the perimeter, and this play takes a bit of time to come out to him, but I think those hands outside the frame. You could certainly hear the entire Arizona State sidelines as well yelling for that holding call.
Goss nearly got the football on the back end of that play. So with that being a spot foul, it's going to be the occasional 1st and 7. Levitt for Tyson. Little juke and step inside. He's got 6. This is moments ago during our break. Kenny Dillingham with a message.
Own the football. Own the football.
Officials timeout for an offensive player injury.
Right? Possess the ball, own the football, finish the game. He knows right here. Like, you own the football, you have 6-7 minute drive. This game is over.
Bad news here. Tyson is down. Jordan Tyson, who's been one of the most dynamic playmakers in the Big 12, is injured for Arizona State. Full weight of 2 guys landed on Jordan Tyson here, Brock.
Yeah, that's both linebacker Tay Brown and then the nickelback Genesis Smith, and you're just in a compromised spot there, right? You're diving in full force into that left shoulder, driven into the ground. You see Tyson, they've been working on him the entire break. He's now in the injury tent, and that's a significant blow.
I mean, he's got 75 more targets than any other wide receiver on this team. 75 more targets coming into this game. He's got 10 of them this afternoon. Scadaboo again sheds tacklers, and then he's driven out of bounds, and he's not going to like that very much. It's a 25-yard rumble.
Yeah, I mean, when he gets going, Jason, honestly, how do you tackle him?
You don't.
We said this about Jonah Coleman earlier this year too, right? It's like a turtle shell. Like there is no surface area to even hit. You try to go low, look at his legs. If you go low, you're not knocking him to the ground. His contact balance is just different. And that's Dalton Johnson, the safety, 15 tackles a week ago. He knows how to tackle, but it is just such a disadvantaged position you're in when he gets a full head of steam.
Even right there, right? He goes down and he meets you down there low, right? He creates somehow space to navigate through.
You know that shot we had of Kenny Dillingham barking to his guys?
Yeah.
Right, to own the ball. Do you know where that started? With him. They had the first conversation, and then Kenny went up and down the sidelines. Right? He's like, give me the ball. Let me finish. Let me be the finisher and close this game out. Look at that. Individually.
He's outgained Arizona by 30. But you're right. They were standing next to each other. They talked it over. Then Kenny Dillingham went and gave the message. It's a screen the other direction, and it's Stovall. And Stovall breaks away. There is a marker in. It's over at the 31.
And again, I think that's going to be Omire, the receiver, just getting the hands outside the frame. These bubble screens are so good, these little quick screens to the perimeter, but those guys out in space have to keep their hands inside.
Holding, offense, number 9, 10-yard penalty, first down.
This is not a terribly deep receiver room once you get past the starters.
No, not at all. I mean, it's right here. And Omire is a big guy. I mean, he is 6'4", 220 pounds, but once those officials see the jersey turn like that and you can no longer read the number on the back, pretty good indicator.
Omire, the transfer from Texas, who only played 4 games there in 22. He missed his first couple years in Austin with an injury. Now he's looking for the play along with Guillory there. Go to Stovall again. This side. That was a good block from Omire. Lost the ball, and Stovall does roll on top of it at the 30. That was Goss who did rake that one away.
And that's something we talked about before this game started. If Arizona was going to have somehow, some way, a fighting chance in this one, creating takeaways against one of the best teams in the country.
And no turnovers so far in the game for either team.
I mean, to go from -12 as ASU was a year ago to what, +10 this year?
Yep.
I mean, that is, of all of the improvements, a +22 in the turnover. Incredible.
Second and 7 here from outside the 30. Levitt sensed trouble, and he got overwhelmed by Uiagalelei. Smothered.
Yeah, you feel this one, and a nice effort here. These guys are not quitting, right? If that was some of the commands of the head coach to these players, is what are you going to put on tape for the final 30 minutes? Still seeing a whole bunch of want to out of these Wildcats.
That's why you do wonder about that punt, especially with the drive that they had right out of halftime. 3rd and 15 for the Sun Devils. Levitt scrambling, pointing, and he's going to run and try to get as much as he can. So a question, you can go for it on 4th down, you can test your kicking game as well. Both matter in the long run for Arizona State. For now, the only touchdown for the Wildcats for McMillan. They're on the board, but Arizona State has a big lead. Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Geico. Get more with Geico. Arizona State, a big lead, 35-7 in this Territorial Cup. Played nearly 100 of these dating back to 1899. They're part of the Big 12 together. And here's what's at stake for Arizona State. With a win and any one of those other three, they're into the Big 12 title game in their first season in the league. Kenny Dillingham, at age 34, an Arizona State alum himself. His wife, a former dancer at Arizona State, Bree, who Kenny says comes to the games but does not watch very much of the game unless there's a big lead. And in this case, wonder where the nerves are at this point. Starting quarter number 4. Levitt, deep shot. End zone, right in there for Guillory.
Jason, you just can't throw it any better. He may have missed Tyson on the earlier touchdown. He doesn't miss this, and this is to Guillory. This is not to Tyson, who's normally in that spot running that little fade vertical. Guillory slides into it. You see the little stutter to stop the feet of the DB there. Goss is beaten. He can't play catch-up. And touchdown number 3 for the former Idaho State transfer.
A Bengal. Extra point is good. That's Ian Hershey coming on to kick the extra points. They've gone to the second kicker. Levitt doesn't care. As long as there's 6 there, he'll take the 1 as well. Fox College Football sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Arizona's won back-to-back Territorial Cups. Arizona State in control right now. It became a traveling trophy just a little bit more than 2 decades ago. The cup is here. It is out of its container. Beautiful penmanship in the engraving there, by the way. How about the story Dwayne Aquina told us about the game back in 1987, right, where they decided to take a field goal to get a tie, moral victory, frustrated Arizona State. Arizona that year finished 4-4-3. Looked like Georgia Tech and Georgia were trying to finish 4-4-3 for a while last night. There are no ties available anymore in college football. There's a touchback to the touchdown on your clicker, Brock.
You know what I really like about Scadaboo, and I sent you guys a clip earlier this week of him absolutely annihilating somebody in pass pro. But you call this scan protection. Look at him right here. This is a well-designed blitz by Aquina. Looks like he's got to go here, right? Pick up that blitzer. Nope, he's got the wisdom to turn, scan back, and then look at when this ball is released. We're not even out of the route yet, and you just throw a teardrop from the heavens for 6. That's called team football. Scan protection, do your job, set the table, and then Levitt delivering the dime to Guillory.
There's Fafita on this play for Arizona. He'll roll to his right. He'll stop. He feels the pressure now. He's sped up, and he will throw it down the field. McMillan can't hang on.
And he just takes another shot.
That was Jordan Crook.
Gosh. I mean, honestly, like in the NFL, you might get hit one time like that in a game as a quarterback.
It's a beautiful throw, too.
Oh, I mean, it's right on him. And McMillan's going to feel bad when he goes back and watches that tape and sees Noah again get blasted when that ball leaves his hands.
Ricino, oh man. Elliott turned himself into a missile.
Yeah, he did, and he just, again, defeats the block right here. Watch him like a running back. So many of these linebackers are old high school running backs. I'm going to dip, I'm going to dodge, and then I'm going to go shoot the leg. I think they can taste what's ahead here. And maybe a little bit of a lull there in the third quarter. But kind of back to stepping on the aggressive meter.
Right on the edge of a Big 12 title game berth in Arlington. Fifita climbing and running. Fifita is going to get there for the first down. That is just all want to. Kangaika was after him, and he turned into a somersault. He got undercut, and that freed it up for Fifita.
And then Moy, the left guard, was just pinned somebody and was laying on him.
He was. I wish we had time for that clicker. I like when you laugh like that because you've seen something interesting.
Those two heavyweights just kind of pinned him, and the match was over.
He did.
But the play wasn't quite done.
First down, Fifita. Free runner there, and he is wrangled and dropped. That's O'Neal again. He's had a massive game. The transfer from Butte College.
Yeah, you're talking about an O'Neal, a guy that had 2 sacks the entire season coming in. Right, originally from Hazen High School up there in Renton, Washington, went the junior college route. The fans didn't like it. Totally clean. And a career afternoon for that man in a rivalry game.
Great response to the face mask penalty he had earlier. By the way, 16 sacks, 28 tackles for loss in 2 years in the junior college route, as you talked about. Fifita, and that goes spinning toward Patterson. It was a bocce ball, and it's third down. At some point, all this pressure accumulates.
Oh,
right?
100%. And I remember saying that, sitting in this booth, watching the Colorado game, and saying to you, remember Tom Brady, the greatest team. They're undefeated playing the Giants. But how did they do it? They hit them, and they hit them, and they hit them. And it doesn't matter if you're Tom Brady. It doesn't matter if you're a junior high quarterback. Anything in between, all of those shots leave a mark and take a toll.
12 hits, 16 hurries.
Yikes.
Get a timeout. Arizona. All right, we'll step aside. Arizona will have third down when we come back.
Arizona, first of the half.
That's what it sounded like during the break. It was a full sonic takeover of this stadium by Forks Up. Time now for our Aflac trivia question. Get help with expenses that health insurance doesn't cover with Aflac. Which 2 head coaches in the Big 12 did not play collegiate football? 2 of them. Third down, Arizona. Dropping off in a big hit. Patterson just got his clock clean. Martell Hughes, the freshman from San Diego, wiped him out.
I think he got a little help from J.P. Dieter as well, the dropping defensive tackle. The Sun Devil sandwich doesn't taste very good.
It's not every day that a guy in the honors college makes that big of a hit, right? Very smart linebacker. He was a quarterback, running back, wide receiver in high school. Hughes, his playing time getting upped here in the second half. Salgado Medina for Stovall on the punt. And that will end up out of bounds.
I think I know this one.
All right. Answer to our Aflac trivia question. Which 2 head coaches in the Big 12 did not play collegiate football? Who you got?
Well, I know that Kenny Dillingham is one of 19 head coaches at his alma mater, and he's the only one that did not play college football.
At his alma mater.
At his alma mater.
Who's the other one?
I know that's him. I think the other one's your Brainiac friend.
Who?
Dave Aranda.
No, Dave played college football.
He did?
Oh. Sonny Dykes was a baseball player in college.
Right.
He was a first baseman.
Doggone it. Ah. So close.
But you don't think about him because his family is
Correct.
one of the first families of football down there in the South, in Texas, with his father Spike. New quarterback in. Brooks, the tailback. Bourguet on the handoff. And it'll be second down coming up. Trenton Bourguet, who spent quite some time here at Arizona State, gets some snaps here. Tucson native as he is.
Pretty cool to be on the leadership council. Is really the 3rd string quarterback. Jeff Sims has been the backup for the majority of the season. This is not surprising in a rivalry game. You give this guy his opportunity because he's been a tremendous leader and no question about it, will be a coach one day himself.
Through so much here with this program. Brooks is the tailback next to him. And Bourguet sidearm pass, and he's got it across the 35-yard line for a first down to Coben Bourguet. Sam Levitt, game number 5 with 3 passing touchdowns or more. It's been 9 years since Mike Bercovici did it.
And I think all 5 of those, Jason, are in conference games. I mean, part of the reason that this team has just, yes, Scadaboo is the engine that drives it all. But the fact that right next to him, kind of in that co-pilot seat, is Sam Levitt, and not turning the ball over. I mean, has just been phenomenal in that way as well as a young QB.
This team has been a well-oiled machine. This is Eusebio, the freshman. Little stutter step. And what a first touch there for Derek Eusebio. He is out of here. His first one in the pass game is 64 yards and a touchdown. He had 1 rush earlier this year.
Why am I feeling his family in Plano, Texas, jumping around the living room? Are you serious? First reception in college, you make 1, 2 miss, then you split, and it's a house call. Another one of these Texas to Tempe kids. Yes, the transfer portal's been enormous, but watch Kenny Dillingham and this staff. By the way, both coordinators getting their extensions last week, 3-year deals. Congratulations. The Texas to Tempe is going to be a very real thing in the years to come as well.
He's an economics major. The supply has been low, but there's more demand for him to touch the ball. Well, he can touch this. It's a touchdown. Kenny Dillingham, your thoughts for Mr. Bourguet, your senior.
We want you to start every day with the charge you need. So we're giving
our work, man. We put in the work. Our kids care. We have kids that care, that do it for each other.
Our kicking game's atrocious. So if you can kick and you're at Arizona State, email me. Kicking tryouts Monday. Let's go. Pay the man his money, right? Isn't that like a saying? Like, pay the man his money. Activate the valley, baby.
Noted Rounders fan Kenny Dillingham. Be careful. You go to Tempe, do not splash the puck. Patterson on the return. Oh, he gets tossed. That's a freshman Hughes again. Okay, Kenny Dillingham, highly quotable, highly emotional, but that's the public side.
Yep.
Well, we heard different about his steadiness in a difficult season last year specifically.
Yeah, and it was really both his coordinators, that have been around ball a lot. And Marcus Arroyo and Brian Ward, they worked for a lot of different coaches. And they said he is strikingly consistent. They're still celebrating. I love that with Eusebio as well. But just strikingly consistent. The process driven every day, that it is not emotional. It's not a roller coaster in the building. And the evidence is, a game like this at the end of the year, and there's steady growth.
Outstanding effort. And we've seen all weekend, rivalry games can go sideways very quickly, even with heavy underdogs and everything that comes along with it. As there's a marker down at the 21, Kenny says decline it, so we'll continue the story. We saw last night, Georgia Tech, Georgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Tech is not a highly ranked team. We saw it Michigan, Ohio State, right? There's a here we go again that can start to happen in games like this.
You know what's interesting with him? I think over time, he's just 34 years old, which is unbelievable to me. Right, his ascent so quickly. You talk to people in the business like, wow, as a coordinator, now as a head coach, I will be curious to watch him in the years to come.
Just how he evolves as a coach?
Yes. In the fact that, you've got to play with emotion, you can coach with emotion, but you can't let emotion coach or play you. And I think there are times that he probably looks back at some of those moments like, okay, that's me, I'm unabashedly me, but is that always to the benefit of everyone around me? That enthusiasm versus emotion.
He does a great John Malkovich.
Sure does.
No, but he, you know,
and his guys play their stinking butts off for him.
He and Lanning, and they were together at 22 in Eugene. They're kind of the prototype of what you'd want in a college football coach right now. Young, passionate,
energetic.
Yep. Psychologically really smart about motivation. Downstairs, Allison.
How much we see from Dillingham is because it's kind of what this team needs and feeds off of. Like the safety exam and Alford told us, if you don't know him as a person, what you see, it could maybe come off a different way, but we're emotional as a team, and we know it comes from a place of him caring so much about us. So we feed off of it. We play for each other. We play for him, and it's why we're in the situation that we are. And Sam Levitt kind of said the same thing. He said, we're all a passionate group, but we try to play with emotional stability and have that juice throughout the game.
It's really impressive, and you see on the sideline as Risano steps through the tackle of Kamari Wilson. Kenny Dillingham said one word during your report there, Allison. It was finish.
Yep. Yeah, and he's got a beat. And sometimes, you know, you look at offensive coordinators, Jed Fish, Lincoln Riley, guys on the West Coast, that didn't give it up, that are head coaches and still doing all the play calling. He's like, I can't do that. Like, I got to be so engaged into the time management. I got to be so engaged in my defense so I can yell finish at him and really trust his coordinators on both sides that he's hired.
The sideline, that's a juggle, and it looks like it's going to be incomplete. It is for Lemonius Craig. Kenny Dillingham, we also learned in our meeting this week, not a big partier compared to the rest of his family, he said. What was the quote? I'm the black sheep of getting after it in my family.
Yes. I'd be curious what those other sheep look like.
It is really one of the great turnarounds in college football. Arizona State, they need a very little bit of help. And TCU at last check was leading Cincinnati very early in that game. A TCU win and an Arizona State win would put the Sun Devils into the Big 12 title game. As Devin Hyatt is down, and he's very frustrated. He is not feeling good. That is not good.
Not good.
You saw the pain initially, immediately. Oof. That was bracing.
Yeah, and he's just a young receiver, redshirt freshman, and I think everybody on that sideline could see it right away.
Oh boy. We're going to step aside. Devin Hyatt, the freshman receiver for Arizona, helped onto the cart. They've got the air cast out and onto that left leg. He was injured on a ball over the middle a few minutes ago. The younger brother of New York Giants wide receiver Jalen Hyatt, with such a bright future in the game of football, heading off the field expressionless, and what an awful end to a season for him.
Oh man, that's hard to see for everybody. I love the Wildcat fans that have remained, giving them some encouragement.
I love that his team came,
yes,
everyone in red out onto the field to surround the cart and give him encouragement on the way off the field. This is an unforgiving game.
And it happens that fast.
Yeah.
Right, and really, you know, just the foot got caught underneath him there as he's making an in cut and got tackled. And that's why when you see guys like T-Mac, right, that make the decision to keep playing, right, there's some speculation, would he play in these games? Or you see players make the decision with bowl games or otherwise. Is in an instant just like that, things can change in a hurry.
Cole Tannenbaum is the quarterback. He'll hand it off for Risano, and he runs hard down to the 40. Downstairs, Allison, a report on Jordan Tyson.
Yeah, injuries is such a tough part of this game, and for receiver Jordan Tyson, sounds like it's a collarbone injury. He's out here with his left arm in a sling, so just really tough to see him fighting through, dealing with that now.
Allison, thank you. I mean, that's a young man who has 75 more targets than any other wide receiver on this roster. He is a main central part of this offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a three-headed monster with him, obviously, and Scatterbo and Levitt. and others are going to have to step up. I mean, the hottest team in the Big 12. Right, as you look at the Big 12 title game and the position they put themselves in with this win today and just a little bit of help, there's not another team as hot as them.
No.
I mean, BYU has stumbled here down the stretch. Iowa State has lost a couple games over the course of the second half, and this team has won 5 in a row. And you can ask Arizona after this one. We asked Brendan yesterday, you've seen everybody. Like, what strikes you in this conference? I promise you, if we had the conversation after this game, he would say, yeah, this ASU team in all phases, other than the field goal kicking, is dominant.
Brock, they have 637 total yards. And you think about what a difference a season makes. Tannenbaum with the throw here to the sideline. His only game last year, Cole Tannenbaum, he came in to be Mr. Victory formation in the Territorial Cup. He took the knee as Arizona won their second in a row in this series. Total 180 this year for both teams.
Yeah, now he's looking up at that replay board, and he's looking at 49-7. This was 59-23 Arizona a year ago.
266 yards for Teteroa McMillan last year. This will be over the middle. It's tipped, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Welch. LaTerrence Welch will take that ball out of bounds. Savaiinaea, he ran right by, and Welch will take the interception for Arizona State, and this team is just bouncing into the Big 12 title game likely.
Yeah, you're going to see Jeremiah Patterson come across here on a little shallow cross, and Tannenbaum, there's a lot of guys coming into the game, a little mesh concept. It's a little high, it's a little hot, and tips and overthrows, got to have those, and ASU has seemingly had them all season long. That is now 14 interceptions out of this group defensively, a remarkable number. That is now plus 11 on the season. The turnover margin just continuing to stack metric after metric after metric that tells you this team's for real.
Brian Ward, the defensive coordinator, did it at Syracuse, his second to his third year with the Orange. He went from 12 turnovers in 2017 to 31 the next season. That's a 19 turnover difference, and they have done pretty much the same thing a year earlier here at Arizona State, and a very talented defensive coordinator in Brian Ward. You see 642 for Arizona State. Not even in that 70-7 game during the COVID pandemic did they put up this total yard number. Bourguet, who's been here through so much, getting to play quarterback, the oldest of 6. He already threw a completion to his brother Coben earlier. Second and 4, and it's to Carlos Brooks. Smith the tackle, Allison.
I thought it was interesting that Brian Ward said part of the increase in the interceptions his defense has come up with is a credit to the Arizona State offense. He said when you're able to play complementary football, when your offense scores and possesses the ball, it forces other teams to drop back and pass and potentially put the ball in harm's way. He said last year teams were playing to beat us. This year they're playing to beat us. Last year they were playing to not lose against us. So when you're having to get those points and your offense is needing to score to keep up with Arizona State's offense, it's presented some good opportunities for the ASU defense.
It's just a much bigger challenge overall as they'll run it here on an end around. Eusebio gets 63 fewer yards on this carry.
Yeah, we hear that term complementary football so often. And that's exactly what Allison was talking about. It was cool to hear it from the D coordinator side, right? Like, no, when our offense scores and you get ahead 28-0, guess what T-Mac and Fafita and all these guys got to do? They got to start throwing it. We could start pressuring them, and then, well, typically good things have happened, and certainly over this month of November, where they're going to go 5-0 and just, again, make a serious statement in this conference.
Going for win number 10. Bourguet barely kept his feet. Now he's going to chuck it. It's batted away. It's incomplete. That's Owen Goss against Eusebio, and Arizona will take over. All right, take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for nearly 160 years. Got it in under the splash. All Arizona State all day, and it started with Scatterbo.
Yeah, and I love the focus early. You get in these games, and it'll be the same thing if they can get to the Big 12 title game, which they're poised to do. Get your difference maker their touches. And he did that to Scatterbo right away. You did it to Tyson right away. And then obviously the quarterback. I mean, we haven't talked, the country hasn't talked enough about the job Sam Leavitt has done. And remember, he has not lost since a road trip to Texas Tech. He did not play in that Cincinnati game, banged up. He has been red hot as well.
Out of West Linn High School in Oregon. Oh, somebody lost a hat down there. That's Hughes again. West Linn High School in Oregon, which also has churned out, among others, Peyton Pritchard, championship winner for the Boston Celtics, important part of that program. And, you know, Oregon wasn't in on Leavitt. Oregon State wasn't really either. And then he goes to Michigan State. Doesn't play a whole lot there, Leavitt. And then suddenly he finds a home here at Arizona State. And it's guys coming from so many different locations, so many different levels, like Scatterbo from Sacramento State.
Yep. And they all kind of have a similar chip on their shoulder, right? Whether they were group of 5 studs who had a chip on their shoulder, like, no, I can play at this level, or they were Power 4 players through coaching changes, as Kenny said, circumstances that may have added to that chip. But collectively, that chip has become this huge boulder on the shoulder, and these guys just continue to put on a show.
Case in point, Kamari Wilson with that tackle there. He's a transfer from Florida.
Big-time recruit. I mean, 4-star guy. Look at him, 6 foot, 210 pounds, hyper athletic. Didn't work there. Whether coaching changes, staff changes, circumstances, whatever, needed a, you know, new breath of fresh air, needed new surroundings, and yeah, they have hit the portal. I know Cignetti did it really well, and so much conversation in Bloomington about bringing all his guys over. Certainly Deion's done it pretty well, but you got an opportunity if you put the right people on the bus through that portal to change direction in a hurry.
It's a good point. It's a little bit different because, you know, there's a bunch of Jackson State guys who went to Colorado with Deion, not the same number as Cignetti pulling from his previous stop. Kenny Dillingham didn't have that. He's here at Arizona State. They had a top 10 number of newcomers.
46 scholarships, 60 new guys, 46 of them on scholarship. And you're right, they didn't come from Eugene.
No.
Nope.
This is after a down year. It's very difficult. Coaches have told us over and over again, you have a down year, difficult to bring winners in the portal. He's done it in a big way with his staff. And a punt. Salgado Medina.
And Brent Brennan, your fan base is going to ask the same of you in this portal over the next month. And fan bases across college football.
They're going to let it run 2-2, it looked like. Friday night on Fox, Ashton Jeanty and Boise State trying to capture back-to-back conference titles and go to the college football playoff. They'll take on either UNLV or Colorado State for the Mountain West Championship. Friday, 7 Eastern, Fox and the Fox Sports app. And with that, we'll step aside.
I'll see you there, partner.
Okay, bye. Fox College Football sponsored by IHG Hotels and Resorts, 19 hotel brands, 6,000 destinations. Arizona State is up big. Last regular season game. Coming up after the game, stay tuned for College Football Extra, sponsored by Defender. And hope nobody minds if I take a moment here and just say this is our last regular season game as a group here. And since coming over to Fox the last 3 years, I could not ask for a better group to celebrate football with, enjoy football with, and we, all of us who talk into microphones, Allison, you, Brock, and I, are so fortunate to have marvelous people around who care so deeply about the game of college football. To bring this into everybody's home, and before you say what you're going to say, it is just my pleasure to share a booth with you.
Oh, it has been a blast. Been a kind of wild season because we've been in this conference. It's been kind of a wild conference this year, right? And you just don't know where it's going to go and all the twists and turns, maybe college football to that degree. But you're absolutely right, man. Thankful on Thanksgiving weekend for all of our camera people, everyone that works in the truck. Everybody loves what they do. you know, and you feel it with Kenny Dillingham in these programs. Obviously, winning helps. But everybody's on the same page, has an energy to move it forward, loves what they're doing, and super blessed to have a crew that all loves what we do and get a chance to do every weekend.
Yeah, there's no better partner in college football than you.
Oh, will you stop, please? Don't make me hit you between the scapula again.
Well, if I get choked up, you'll know why. But how about this? You talk about a team and a group and just the belief that everything can go your way when nobody says it's possible. Arizona State and its alum, Kenny Dillingham.
Trying to get the Gatorade, trying to get it on him.
Do not try to get away from Scatterboo.
You can't.
He breaks the tackles, not you, Kenny Dillingham. Arizona State has a 10-win season in blowout fashion, and with a little bit of help, they will be somehow in the Big 12 title game. And now, oh boy, Dwayne Aquina in the middle of all of it, trying to break everybody up. He's seen this rivalry for nearly 2 decades, and you see how much it means to him, to everybody in this game. It's all Arizona State today. So, you know, Arizona State has the Forks Up logo. And then the former Wildcat, Kangaika, put it in the middle of the field. Downstairs, Allison Williams.
Coach, congratulations on a dominant performance. You told me at the half these guys had to finish